Okay, so now they corrected it. You can see, right? They restreamed it. They restreamed it, people, 42 seconds ago. So, as time moves forward from this point forward, it's going to be documented here, right? It's 3 days in advance. So, whatever the coroner told him today was a bunch of crock. Because it was said 3 days ago. But the thing is, he's just feeding everybody the same lip service. Right? Oh, they did it to themselves. They should have known better. You know, the drugs are coming in. Well, sorry, they're not coming in no more. Everybody's putting Draino in their drugs. That's why we got a higher number of people dying, because they're sniffing Draino. Yep. That's what's happening. Yep. Blame it on the COVID. Blame it on the COVID. Right? The Chinese and the Mexicans and the bikers and whoever's running fentanyl in the province of British Columbia, Canada, can't bring it into the borders now because the borders are closed. So therefore, everybody's getting high off of Draino and killing themselves because they're not going for the services that we're providing for them, even though we openly acknowledge that we don't have enough resources to meet everybody's fucking need. Okay, so let's go on to the next page here. We'll keep that one so you can see what happened there, right? I mean, there it is, black and white, people. Black and fucking white. Okay, which one are you going to believe? I'm going to believe this one, okay? Because the coroner is involved, right? The coroner... Look, I don't want to put this video, but I'm going to put this video up, okay? I'm going to put that first. I'm going to put this first. And then you're going to see, right? Because... we are being lied to. Now, I know I don't get a lot of views. I know that YouTube shadow bans. I know I'm being gang stalked by the protege of Julian, right? I mean, it was bad enough I had fucking Julian, threatening to blow up my house, shoot my kids, smash out all my windows, set my house on fire, do all this fucking shit, and now that Julian's gone, his sister has taken on that role of Julian. But you see, the cops won't do nothing about that because that's how the cops can get away with the things that the cops do, right? Because, it was like sign language between Julian and the cops, right? The cop gave Julian the signal, just go, oh, ShaMay, 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 oh, ShaMay. And then the cop said, Judy and Tisha, you take ShaMay or Julian down the hall, get him out of here, because he's, right? And that was the cue, right? So Julian goes down the hall, and I'm like, okay, you're obviously hyperventilating. Here, take a fucking bag. Oh, I don't want the bag. I don't need the bag. But it was enough time for the paramedics and the cops to haul ShaMay's ass out in a fucking hammock with 3 guys on each side, carrying her out, dead as a doornail, people, to the ambulance so they could legally harvest her organs, something that this fucking premier wants to completely ignore. Okay? Because ultimately the government is facilitating the illegal organ harvesting of these so-called 175 deaths in the last month that's related to fentanyl. Only we don't have fentanyl coming into the province because the borders are all shut down. So instead of selling to drug addicts, because as far as this premier is concerned, everybody that's dying has to be a drug addict. Nobody is getting murdered. No, because they don't want to open up that can of worms, right? Because once they start locking up people for murder, that's going to clean up the fucking game now, isn't it? But they want to keep the game exactly the way it is because it brings in millions and billions of fucking dollars as they bring in these fucking crooked doctors from the United Emirates, Israel, fucking India, China, wherever they fucking come from, because they weren't born here, I can tell you that right now, right? To pillage these dead bodies as they're coming in, right? Whether they hook them up to machines, dead, like they did to ShaMay, right? Most people just turn off the machine within 3 days. But you see, they couldn't turn off the machine within 3 days on ShaMay. Because I came in there, and the minute I seen her, people, I said, you need to investigate. Right? It took me up to almost a week to get the fucking cops involved. Right? And they acted all shady, but they took out her organs within the first 7 hours of her body being there. That's why when I showed up at 9, she looked embalmed. And she was. And I can prove it, people. I can fucking prove it. The only thing is, the judge, when I go in front of a judge, will never allow me to prove it. Because those ghostwriters are already putting it in the file that you just simply dismiss it and, you know, throw some court rule at her and she'll get, you know, flustered and then, you know, send in the city to start attacking her again and she'll get more flustered, right? And then, you know, she'll drop the ball and then we can continue doing what we do. Right? Because we're the one with all the resources. We're the one with all the education. We're the one that have access to public facilities to do as we please. Right? We're the ones with the workforce that is corrupt and are bought off. Not everybody is corrupt or bought off, but there is a large majority, one way or another, that are being bought off. As you've got this person, right, getting up there, well, you know, they should have known better. Mm-hmm. They're not going for help like, you know, we provided this and we've done this, but it's still up to them to go get help for their addictions. Right? We got a lot of fucking addicts in British Columbia, Canada, but have we ever stopped to ask ourselves why? ShaMay wasn't an addict, but this premier has broad-swiped her to be an addict. All those hospital workers and anyone else that came into fucking contact with her dead body dubbed her as an addict, right? Because they got something from it, people. Right? Just like Julian's sister. Like, what the fuck? This girl, I've seen her twice in my house. Twice, people. Where I've seen her in my house personally. Other than that, I don't know this person from Adam. But yet, I'm being gang-stalked by her and her mob that she's recruiting to attack me. Right? She took on the role of her brother to attack me and my family. First, they were attacking ShaMay. Is she still using ShaMay's phone? I'd like to know. Oh, maybe not. She doesn't need ShaMay's phone anymore because she's being taken care of with blood money, as far as I'm concerned, in another aspect of a car accident that gave them a windfall, right? To continue to harass me. While the cops do nothing about it, while the premier completely ignores it. So if another person dies from Draino, because that's what we got in this province now, is Draino killing people, right? Because don't forget, the borders are closed, so it can't be fentanyl. Can't get into the country right now, right? Even though it's all over the place. I could take you out to fucking down 10 minutes away and probably go find fucking fentanyl. The only thing is these people are being targeted. Okay? They're being lured to their deaths, right? Specifically. And when one dies, the coroner is fast to get there. The cops are fast to get there. The ambulance service is fast to get there. They're all fast to get there. And if you try and put the fucking brakes on it, and like I showed up for Ciera, what did they do? They pushed me out, pushed out my kids, gave us a bunch of old okie dokie, fed us a bunch of fucking lies, trivialized the whole situation, and then snuck her body out through the back door, threw it in the fucking trunk, people, in the trunk of the coroner's fucking vehicle as it sped out of there. I have it on video. And then, because they wanted the organs, they had to make it suspicious, because that was the excuse to cut her open, to investigate. ShaMay, they didn't need to investigate because they faked the funk by saying she was alive. They took him out before I even showed up. And her teeth, people. Why the teeth? What's the need for the teeth? ShaMay had a strong mouth of teeth because they're putting them somewhere else. Right? I doubt it's sitting up in some university fucking lab. Right? Okay? So, You know, this premier, I don't know, he's in on it, people. The government is in on harvesting us like cattle. And by them sitting up there saying, oh, these poor women, oh, these poor vulnerable people, oh, poor. No, what they did is they just opened up the gene pool to harvest more of us en masse with that fucking Draino, right? As they're feeding the public that we did it to ourselves, we should have known better, we were closet addicts if we weren't fucking straight up addicts. So therefore, we deserved what we got because we're not taking the services that the government is supposed to be handing to the people. But yet, nobody ever goes to jail for murder. Ever. Not in this province. And pretty much right across the country. Because it involves too much money, and they're doing something else with these body parts. It's not just simply implanting them into somebody else's body so that they can live. There's other issues going on around the harvesting of thousands of people as it's being covered up by our governments. You can't get an independent autopsy. Apparently, you can't get the autopsy reports, right? I have to fight for that. I don't know how I'm going to fight for it for Ciera, people, right? They falsify medical records, right? And when you call them on it, like I said, when I get to court, they're just going to try and throw it out, right? And if I get close, they're just going to come in with a bunch of fucking bullshit to tear my family apart even more as they get up on their podium talking about how they're trying to help poor families. Yeah, help yourself to poor families so that you get rich, so that you can facilitate these organs and teeth and other body parts that you pillage from all these dead people that you facilitate with your fucking Draino because you don't want to put the brakes on the criminal activity and the corruption that's within the government itself. I'll put this first. Right? I'm obligated to show on my channel what we're up against. I am obligated, I am compelled. It is my duty, right? To show what we are up against. To show the reality of the fraud that's being placed upon 5.2 million people. To show the reality of the false pretense and breach of trust that these so-called government officials purport to be doing in the best interest of the public when they can't even come out with a real fucking live stream with real numbers. They gotta come in with ghost written numbers 1 week in advance. Well, let's see. Okay, we gotta make sure that the public stays paralyzed. So on this day, in a week from now, you're going to get up on the podium and you're going to say that 10 people died. It says right here, I wrote it down, 10 people died. Okay? So now that minister or whoever, well, you know, today is the day, even though it was done a week ago, but I'm not going to tell you that, right? Because you'll never find out. No, because most people are dumb, right? We treat you like you're dumb and we treat you like children, right? So we got 10 people who died. As of today, right now. They died 2 days ago. Even though, technically, I did this live a week ago. So what, are you telling me that they're straight up murdering 10 people, to fill that fucking quota? Because that's what it sounds like. And being that nobody can go in there and fucking fact check anything when it comes to people being hospitalized on machines like ShaMay, without anybody going in to see their loved ones because they're so contagious. Nobody's gonna know what's happening to those people locked away in those fucking ICU wards or anywhere else they've got them locked away. And that's the point. That's what makes me fucking feel compelled. Because I've already seen it. I've seen what they're capable of doing, people. That's why I put fucking ShaMay's picture out there. That's why I filed the lawsuit, people. That's why I keep pushing so fucking hard. Because I've seen it with Uncle John. It's pretty fucking apparent what happened to Amari. I mean, it's pretty apparent what happened to Ciera and Andre. But I definitely fucking seen it with ShaMay. And then they fucking turn around and slap me in the face with Ciera. They mock you. They humiliate you. They demoralize you. They stalk you. They harass you. They intimidate you. They lie to you. So it's all business as usual for them. Right? Oh, 500,000 more vulnerable women and children. Hey, they're in their glory, people. They're in their glory. That's what they fucking worked for. Because we can't fight back. Right? All we can do is sit back and watch our family being picked off one by one. And then when we try and call them on it, we know what happens. Another one will be picked off. Right? They just opened up the gene pool. That's all they did. That's all they're doing. So you've seen it for yourself. Okay? Right? I don't know who's watching this. I'm pretty sure the fucking global news and all those people, I'm pretty sure they're fucking well aware. But you know what? They're fake news. They're involved with it. They're the lizard people. They're the ones with the fake fucking movie set. Okay? Everything that you're watching is nothing more than a movie set. It's a fucking theatrical movie that's been scripted out weeks, months in advance to harvest what they can harvest. Whether it's the energy, the fear, the money, old people's money, right? The bodies, the teeth. And I'm almost guaranteed they're doing experiments on these people before they die. And that's why they don't allow families to go in and be with their loved ones as they die. They just get a fucking phone call and say, come pick up the body. Only you won't be allowed to see it because it's contaminated. So you'll never know what we did to it. But it's for you to pick it up and bury it. But we're not done humiliating you yet. We're going to make you stand there with just 10 people. And we won't let you carry the fucking casket either, just so that you get a feel for what's inside. Because that's not what it's about. It's not about respecting families. It's not about respecting human beings. It's not about respecting nobody. It's about fucking control. So that they can live and we die. Okay, July 16th, 2020. You can see what's going on here. They started this, putting on everybody on hold. 101 seconds. Started streaming 101 seconds ago. Right? And there's now 21 people watching because it's coming in on the feeds. Right? You can see it says Premier John Horgan, July 16th, 2020. All right, this is supposed to be a live stream, not a pre-recorded live stream with information that was written by a ghostwriter, okay, with some of that information being completely false. They don't have a crystal ball. They sit up there and say they don't have a crystal ball, but yet they're giving out statistics in terms of the numbers of deaths and the numbers of infections from a presumed virus that is obviously being used as a political tool to control the population as a whole and to implement forced vaccination and whatever else these people plan on doing, right, in terms of a political sense with, regards to removing cash from society and putting everybody on a credit score, right, because we know British Columbia, Canada is deeply embedded with the Chinese Communist Party because basically, regardless of what political party that's in the province of British Columbia, Canada, they allowed fentanyl to flood the streets so that, money laundering could occur and then be funneled through other illegal activities within the black market, whether that's through the housing market, illegal organ harvesting, right, And so anyway, I'm assuming that this is a real live with him doing, on the fly, but I highly doubt it, people, because honestly, I think some of this stuff that we're watching is being perpetrated maybe through a hologram, or these people that, used to be people have somehow mutated and have been altered and genetically modified or have been implanted with something, or maybe they're just, I don't know, right? All I know is that they're putting out fake, pre-recorded live streams with false statistics, which is a breach of trust that falls under the Criminal Code of Canada. They do not have a crystal ball to do a live stream 1 week in the past predicting who's going to die a week when they decide to restream the stream with false statistics. So, oh, there. Now he's there. Okay, he just came on.
That wreck your shot, Jonathan?
Yeah.
You're good?
With the fake news. With the fake news media.
Okay.
Right?
Jen? Great. Good afternoon, everyone.
Okay. I'll provide the link to this video.
I'm in the wrong direction to be heading.
I have to turn it back on.
When it comes to addressing the public health crisis
Opiate.
that we inherited when we were sworn into government 3 years
175
ago
deaths.
this Saturday. We've been doing everything we can to address this issue, but during the pandemic, the drug supply has been drying up because of closed borders, and that means that the poison drug supply.
They had over 1,500 people die from fentanyl-related deaths in 2017 and 18.
Those in emergency rooms that are doing everything they can to keep people well, to keep people safe during a pandemic, and also addressing an opioid crisis.
Now, people are being hunted down and targeted for their organs.
From the federal government of the Canada Safe Restart Plan.
Okay.
10-year-old girl. What do you say to her family and other Indigenous people who continue to be disproportionately impacted by this crisis?
Well, my condolences go out to the Cowichan tribes and particularly the families affected. This has been a crisis for a half a decade now. Successive governments have put effort into this. We appointed a standalone Minister of Mental Health and Addictions. Minister Darcy will have more to say about
murder by fentanyl.
I believe she's issued a statement. We're creating more
why doesn't they address that?
Before
do you see what's going on here?
That will help young people.
This one, I highly doubt.
Stay in hospital under medical supervision while they regain their faculties and decision-making processes are clearer for them.
Let's see.
That's yet to pass the legislature, but we're doing everything we can to give parents some confidence.
Right, it's on right now.
The Crown, the state, will do what we can to help their children when they
on their main page.
Illicit drugs, currently illicit drugs.
Right.
But this is a health issue.
It's in their videos.
Abundantly clear to me, and I think to the vast majority of British Columbians, and we need to tackle it as such. And that's going to require, again, national leadership. And I'm confident that the federal government will join with me once we move through this restart period and start to focus on the suggestions that are many throughout the community, not just the national police chiefs, but service providers for many, many months now have been talking about what we need to do to address this issue, and we're committed to doing everything we can.
Start putting people in jail!
Do you have a follow-up, Mary?
That's what you do!
Thanks so much. What specifically is the province doing to address this problem among Indigenous communities?
It's not just Indigenous communities.
We consulted with the First Nations Health Authority about the legislation.
It's all over the place.
Before the House, we have worked with
get rid of the Chinese fucking gangsters. Maybe that might help.
Dollars into communities through the pandemic.
Cut your ties with China.
Providing health care. We want to make sure that we're bringing health into communities. Telehealth.
Pre-screen your doctors before they come into Canada and make sure they're not corrupt, right? Come here to harvest us like cattle so they can get rich.
Surgical innovations are opening up doors for patients and for people struggling with addictions that weren't.
What about murder? Do something about murder.
There before, but we need to make sure the technologies are in place and they're affordable for people and for communities, and we need to connect those communities.
We need. Why not just put people in fucking jail for murdering others with fentanyl, right? That would be a great start.
Broadband internet
especially when it's right in your fucking face. And then go into the hospitals and make sure that those Lucy's and Dr. Ghouls aren't in there scooping up those valuable organs and selling them on the black market to whoever.
This is an initiative that the government's been working on for a number of years.
$500,000 for a dead body. You do the math. 14 years old. Oh, probably $700,000.
Years.
14 is young. She's not the first 14-year-old to die in this province because of negligence from the government.
no one quick solution to this
This is Canada.
problem, but it's all of us working together, and most importantly, all of
No, you don't work with the public.
us recognizing that these people who are addicted to opioids are
Do you see? Complete fucking denial.
not criminals. They're patients, and they need medical care.
No, ShaMay needs justice.
As we review
Ciera needs justice.
the Police Act, which
Uncle John needs justice.
is just underway, we'll be able to look at where we can put resources
The police are corrupt. Drain the swamp. Clean the swamp. Get rid of the fucking ghouls.
to healthcare and the delivery of services for people rather than
Educate the Canadian-born youth, regardless of their ethnic heritage, to be the nurses and the doctors that they want to be, instead of trying to put them into tourism and then come in with a heavy hand and cut out the whole fucking industry so that you got more vulnerable, depressed people so that you can pillage and harvest at the whim of the public union sector, because they're the ones with all the money. They're the ones with all the networking. They're the ones with all the resources. They're the ones who are the most corrupt in this fucking province. In Canada.
incarceration, litigation, all of the things that have slowed down success in our province. We want to make sure we're removing.
Slow down success of what? 175 people died, what, in a 30-day period? And that's what's being reported on. And you want to sit up there and blame each and every one of them as they did it to themselves. They should have known better. They were addicts. They should have went and got help. But we're just going to hook up their bodies, pretend that we saved them, and then, we'll just either fucking, get rid of them within 3 days so that the families don't realize what the hell happened, or we'll do a ShaMay, hook them up on a body machine for fucking 9 days so the body can rot, right? And then play it off like, everything's normal. Yeah, nothing was fucking normal. Just look at her pictures, Mr. John Horgan.
Removing those barriers and giving people access to the services and particularly the treatment that they need.
Treatment. More like justice. Do you see how it went out? Do you see how it went out? Do you see? What happened to the live?
Next question is from Tanya Fletcher.
Let's refresh the page.
Going back to the overdose crisis, you referenced it off the top, but putting the dual public health emergency into perspective, you noted,
let's refresh the page.
COVID in the first 6 months of this year, and the same number of people died of an overdose.
You can see what's going on.
How do you reconcile the province's
responsibility?
Conclude that the
false
opioid
pretense
crisis is not founded on a criminal element, because it is. But if you're addicted, you're not a criminal. You're someone who needs help.
Oh, yeah.
And I think all British Columbians want to reach out and help those that desperately need it.
He feeds you the old
question
okie
is from Lisa Yuzda.
Hi there, Premier. Just regarding the opioids again, I'll figure out speakerphone. Regarding the opioids again, you talk about
just get the general public to hate them more. That's all it is, people. Not get them fucking justice. Just well, they did it to themselves. The Premier said so.
Supports and effort poured into
Dr. Henry Bonney said so.
The opioids.
Adrian Dick said so.
The lives of people with
they should have went out and got help.
Less than people with COVID, and I wonder what you say to those families, because it's hard not to see that.
What I say to the questioner, quite frankly, is that you can't compare the no one getting on public transit to an opioid crisis. No one was getting on public transit because they were fearful of a virus that we don't understand fully and that is easily transmitted in the broader community.
Ciera was lured to her death.
The numbers align today.
She told me, I'm not coming back, Mom.
Two separate things here. They're
I'm going someplace, Mom.
Without any
because
doubt.
she was coached.
I say to the people who
with her mental illness
ones,
in jail.
My heart goes out to you. But I also say to those who are still fearful that we need to do everything we can to suppress the transmission of COVID-19.
She was right.
That we're not out of the woods yet. I don't believe that we should bring these two things together, nor do I think that we need to separate them to get better outcomes. We are working as hard as we can.
Oh, but yet you're reporting on it. You don't want to bring them together. You don't want to blah, 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 blah. But you're just making it a main fucking topic.
Dr. Henry, also very attuned to the COVID, or to the opioid crisis. In fact, my first meeting with Bonnie when she was first hired was about safe drug supply. So we've been working on this, trying to bring these numbers down. We've seen a spike in the past couple of months. It's very disturbing, particularly for those families affected.
Since the beginning of January, people.
British Columbians to know we are not abandoning them on this question.
Going into the fourth fucking month.
Our efforts to bring more resources, to bring more
$500,000 per body.
Working with
you do the fucking math.
So that we can
175 people
just the
dead.
way we have all collectively wrestled COVID-19 to the ground.
And Lisa, do you have a follow-up?
I do. We're going.
And that's not the savings on their welfare checks that they hand out to all these poor people that are being pushed off the planet.
Schools, Premier. I know we're going to hear from the minister. I think in a few weeks. But parents are feeling the anxiety now, not knowing.
So we know this is fake.
How they're going to manage.
This is not a live stream. This is a restream.
In the months to come.
Well, I certainly sympathize with families that are
trying to figure out
how they're going to proceed through the summer, how they're going to address September. But I have seen back-to-school flyers, so certainly the marketplace is acting as if all is normal. I know that Minister Fleming, I was just briefed yesterday on the plan to announce where we're going to be in September or later in July. We're consulting with British Columbians all the while. We're consulting with parents and, of course, the group that's come together of teachers, support workers, administrators, parents, to make sure that we have the best possible circumstances to enter into September. And I say to parents, be patient, have confidence that unlike every other jurisdiction in North America, we had a plan in June, it worked effectively, and we're going to build upon that to make sure we're ready for a full restart in September. If events change, we see an uptick in cases, and Dr. Henry is monitoring all of that very...
I don't know, people. It's just another lie. They're just getting people hyped up to hate homeless people and people that are out on the streets struggling with addiction, right? To desensitize them from the misinformation that is being given to them in terms of, if that premier is so fucking concerned, then he needs to start locking up fucking drug dealers and people who use fentanyl. They don't have to be a drug dealer. But there are people out there using fentanyl to kill other people. Bottom line. Get rid of the fucking Chinese gangsters and anyone affiliated to them that run this shit through our province. Okay? Hold on.
And various other consultations with people across
they don't
BC.
Appreciate women being
the
caregivers.
Parliamentary Secretary Mitzi Dean for gender
really
issues
don't.
has been key to all of that.
Right.
We have seen a disproportionate impact on women,
of course,
people of color,
of course,
vulnerable populations.
Of course,
and that's why I'm so pleased to see.
Kick us off one by one
for childcare.
Nobody can fight back. We can't get lawyers. We can't get legal aid.
Populations in the federal
right?
Package.
We don't get proper reporting from news outlets. Right? We get politicians that give out lip service and false information and through breach of trust and false pretense and fraud.
Right now, donations are down for not-for-profits. Staff are at shortages, and dollars to deliver the services that not-for-profits deliver are challenged as well. And those are, as you say,
of course, because they're taking all this money and they're putting it somewhere else where they want it.
Within the not-for-profit sector.
Right? You know how much money they're saving by shutting down certain industries?
Plan to make sure
having all these deaths, all these fresh organs coming in, all these wonderful, beautiful teeth.
Thank you, everyone. That's all the time we have.
How much do they get for teeth? I'd like to know. I'd like to fucking know how much they get for a set of teeth. A good set of teeth like ShaMay's. Huh? I'd like to fucking know. All right. Let's find out. Let's find out. I can already tell you that was pre-recorded. Okay. The live stream kept going out, people. They have to shut it down first. So, So we'll just give it a few more minutes. Hold on. I'm going to put this on and we're going to see how long it takes. Okay? 5 seconds into this video. Let's see how long it takes for them to take this down and the true date to come up. There you go. I told you, they're getting fast.
Neither east nor west.
They're getting fast, people.
Wanted the post-revolution
Same
Iran
shit.
to depend on no one.
Because they know that people are catching on.
It is now ready to dump the non-aligned mantra and collapse into China's embrace. The United States has made this happen. It slapped crippling sanctions on Iran and bullied allies to keep distance from Tehran. India was one of the countries that complied. What did India get in return? This report tries to find the answer.
You seen it. You seen it. Right there. Right there. Right there. Okay, that's the one that just shut off. Let's refresh the page. Three days ago, people. That was recorded 3 days ago. Okay?